Today we're having our January monthly reset, as well as bits and pieces of New Year intentions and goals and how I'm thinking about it. Now, my encouragement to you, I don't know how your 2024 was, but whatever kind of year it has been, good or hard, I mean, yes, good or hard, take time to reflect on it. Even in the hard seasons, once we are out of the firefighting and we step back, the things we learn from. Now, when I reconcile and then there's money I've forgotten to track, I don't stress about it anymore. I even have a category called forgot. Hi, welcome to my channel and happy new year. This is my first video for 2025 and welcome to the new year. For me, this is like a season that really excites me. And today we're having our January monthly reset, as well as bits and pieces of new year intentions and goals and how I'm thinking about it. That's what you can expect from today's video. So when I was thinking about this reset, I went back to the previous resets, the playlist that I have, and I was looking at how long I've done this. And it was so amazing that for 6 months, I've had monthly resets. And I was trying to see, I wanted to see if I'm able to add a few things into the resets to kind of see a pattern. So this reset, there are 2 things that I've added in my monthly resets, and I'm going to get into them. And that is planning my content and batch cooking. We'll see how this goes. So in addition to what I've been doing, I've tried to add those 2 elements. We'll see how it works. It's kind of like at a point of experimenting. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is reflect on December. December was intense, if I can use that word. And for me, the first thing that happened is that everything kept changing. I would make plans, and then because I'm not the only one, there are other family members, there are other people that are involved in the decision-making process. So everything kept changing. New options kept coming up. So I was constantly adjusting, and eventually it all worked out. But the way I thought it would work in the beginning is not how it eventually turned out. But what really helped me, what kept me I wasn't frustrated that it kept changing. I just kept adjusting I kept going to my planner and making the changes as and when they would happen. Then the second thing that happened in December is that because of how intense it was, I was not tracking my finances properly. So I'll go 3-4 days and I'm not tracked. And then after I'd get time and I start tracking, and then I've forgotten certain things. And then I've forgotten certain things. I was trying to reconcile, and there's money that I don't know what I spent it on. So the month of December was one of those months. And so I kept trying to ask myself, how can I make this simpler for myself? So just trying to reevaluate, and that is one area that didn't go so well. The other thing that happened in December is that I used this time to also prepare for 2025. I deciding on this is what I would like to work on. I was very intentional about making the time to process it. And then in December, I also went through my journals. So I've been journaling since 2018. I know it's such a long time. Okay, for me it's a long time. But 2018, so I have so many I have so many journals from 2018 up to today. So I went through my journals, not all of them, okay, that would be too much. But I went through the time period of 30th December to 1st Jan of 2018 entering 2019, and then 2019 entering 2020, all those transition points, and being able to look back on how they say that what do you want to do in 5 years, and my mind is I don't know, it could be anything. Am I overestimating, am I underestimating? But then looking back 5 years really gave me, it felt good to see the progress that has happened and the changes that have happened and the lessons that I have learned. So I also used December to reflect, and also reflect on how the year went. I went through my photos, and I wrote month by month. So I said January, went through the photos. This happened in Jan, like that. February, this happened. And when I was going through those photos, it really filled my heart. Like it made me so grateful for things in my life, you know. And 2023 was a hard year for me, but 2024 has been a good year. And so I really wanted to acknowledge that this has been a good year. Now, my encouragement to you, I don't know how your 2024 was, but whatever kind of year it has been, good or hard, I mean, yes, good or hard, take time to reflect on it. Even in the hard seasons, once we're out of the firefighting and you step back, there are things we learn from them. There are things that can make us grow through those experiences. So that was how my December went, very reflective. And then the other thing that happened in December is that I was setting up my planner for December. And you guys, please, the process of setting up my planner is very manual right now. I can't explain how it takes me so much time. And at some point, I don't think I would want to do this in 2026. I would want to have it like a printout or what, but it is worth it because now I'm ready to use it. I just write in it because it's already set up, and it's set up in a way that looks good for me. So I feel like it's a worthwhile investment. But the manual bit, it's not working very well. So that was December. And then when I was also going through my previous videos of making these resets, I was asking myself, what's the intention of making these resets? Like, should I keep doing it? Should I stop doing it? And I think I really want to keep doing it. For you, maybe it can give you a few ideas of how to reset and prepare for a new month. I also liked it for myself. It was kind of, you know, when I was watching the videos and starting to see the elements that are repetitive, and then I was also able to see how the months generally, you know, how they flowed. And then it also, because whether I record these videos or not, the things I will do automatically. But being able to record them makes me even more intentional to do certain things. And it kind of holds me accountable. So that is why my intention at the moment is to continue with these monthly resets and keep up with it. The routine of the reset there are elements that haven't changed. So around the 30th, I was back in Kampala on the 30th, so I was able to make my budget, make my work on the budget, work on capturing all the things I'd forgotten to track and reconciling. Now, when I reconcile and then there's money I've forgotten to track, I don't stress about it anymore. I even have a category called forgot. So I just say, Gabi, give yourself grace. This month you forgot to track this much money, and it's okay. I just accounted for it and I forgot, and I will try again this month. So that is how I handled that situation. So I closed out my budget, and then I worked on the cash stuffings, planning out, because Jan has 5 weeks. So I worked on planning the variables, the groceries for every week, the transport, the work meals. I've gone through all these things in the previous monthly resets. I'll have a link on the playlist, for the playlist in the description of my monthly resets. So I did that whole process, and then, so that was around the 30th. Meanwhile, I don't do all these things on one day, guys. It takes me like about a week. So on the 30th, I did that. Once I was done with the budget, I set up my planner. So I decided like what I wanted to track in terms of habits, and the monthly pages, the monthly calendars, the activities that are coming up in the month, kind of have an idea of what January will look like for me. So the next thing that I worked on was planning content. Now this one I did it around the 2nd of Jan. So this is new to me. We'll see how it goes. So I was trying to plan out content that will come out in the month of Jan and see how that will work out. So if you have any recommendation, if there's anything that you'd like to watch about, if there's anything you'd like to know more about in terms of finances, because outside of the monthly resets, I primarily make videos about finances. That's what we talk about on this channel. That's what I did. I planned all the content. How did I do this? I made a calendar, I had a list on the side, and I put like tentative dates of when I would want the specific videos to go up, and maybe when I would expect to outline and script them, when I expect to record them, and when I expect to edit them. So kind of like a draft plan. The next thing that I added, which is new to me, is batch cooking. So I usually, when I'm watching content videos, I find that people say that when you batch cook, you save money, you save time, and I haven't done it very intentionally. So for me, this is kind of like an experiment. So I went ahead and batch prepared sauces in particular, not like food. So I did like sauces, beans, peas, beef, things like that. And I did this around the 3rd of Jan, go to market and did that whole process, and also the weekly shopping for groceries. Experiment is to see if this will save me money on a week-to-week basis. If I see that this works, maybe I will share content about it. But if it doesn't work, I'll come back here and tell you guys I know that it didn't work for me, but it's kind of like an experiment, so I did that. The final thing I want to talk about is how I'm approaching the goals for this year and my general resolutions, if I can say. So this year, first of all, I only have two main goals of like, if come December I only do 2 things, that's the main thing. But something else that I realized, that I've learned about myself recently, is that when I say, I know this is weird, but when I say and like tell other people that I'm going to do something, guys, I don't do it. Like the people who know me, they keep saying, but Gabi, you keep saying. So when I became aware of this, I stopped saying what I'm going to do. I just decide, in my journal with myself, I said this is what we are going to do, and I move. Because for every time that I say I'm going to do, I don't do. What I would recommend is that first become aware of what works for you and the things that you do. Like just become aware of what have you been doing and what would you like to change. So the moment I learned that when I say I don't do, now I'm not even going to say, I'll just tell you when it happens, or you will see when it happens. But that is how I'm approaching it. I'm approaching it with 2 main goals, and then the rest are more of habit goals. Like when I say habit goals, having a monthly reset is a habit. It goes throughout the year. It's not a goal that I will hit. It doesn't have like an accomplishment. It's a habit that ideally I would want to do forever to keep myself organized. Having a clean home or a clean space is a habit. Me creating content on YouTube or it's a habit. So the 2 goals that I've set have an end point, but then most of the intentions that I have is so for example, reading more books is a habit. It's like a lifelong thing. So most of the things for me right now are habits. The intentions that I have are habits, the things that I want to keep doing. Spending time with loved ones, friends and family is a habit, and building relationships. It doesn't like end of like now I've arrived. So most of them are more of lifestyle, and I have 2 main ones that I would want to accomplish that have an end point. And then I'm also not setting like numbers that are not in my control, because I can't say, okay, yes, fine, I can say I want a certain number of subscribers, but that's not in my control. All I can say maybe is I want a certain number of videos. I would want to have uploaded this number of videos. But then for me to attain that, it all comes down to the habit. Am I uploading on a weekly basis? Because I also struggled with that last year, consistency in terms of each week uploading. So the approach for me this year is to look at building my habits, like to have the identity of this is what I do and this is who I am. And then the final thing is I made a vision board. I did this in 2024 for the first time, and it really worked out so well for me. So this time I've done it again, and I made my vision board in Canva. I got photos from Pinterest matching the intentions that I have, and I have it literally everywhere. So it's on my phone, it's on my watch. I have it on my laptop. Generally it reminds me on a consistent basis of the things that I want to work on, the habits that I want to build. It's more images of habits, like I said, and a few of the 2 goals that I have when it comes to the targets that I want to attain. So those are my thoughts around how I'm approaching it. We'll see how that goes and how it works out as the year progresses. And so what are your goals for 2025? If you're like me and you're like, I just move in silence and just, people get to know after. You can share your recommendations as well. Please don't forget, if you have any video you'd like to watch in regards to finances, you can leave your requests. If I'm able to make it, I'll respond. I always respond to the comments. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I appreciate. Join the community, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.